Hello, good morning, and welcome to the Good Morning Education Show. This morning, it's um, today is Tuesday, the 20th of July, 2021, and I welcome you to the show this morning. It's a public holiday for our Muslim brothers and sisters, and we send felicitations their way. And for some of us, it really is not a holiday. So I know there are some people who are currently at work, just as we are. But we're happy to be here and to have you all at the other end. Good morning, Omotola. I see you, and I see we're expecting a guest in the house this morning. I think she's here,
Good
but I do
morning,
not
Fee,
see your name. So, good morning, Omotola. You're welcome to the show.
and good morning, guest, even though we don't know your name yet.
Um,
Hello, good
yeah,
morning.
please, can you
Good
introduce
morning.
yourself? Let's meet you.
Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Adamba, Mrs. Adamba, and I don't know if there's anything I'm supposed to say, but I'm really excited to be here. It's good to see and meet you guys.
Welcome.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
great to
All
have
right.
you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome, Adama, and we're glad to have you with us. What we normally do on the show is we discuss issues in and around the world of education, and we start that usually by looking at the headlines and looking at the headlines are the things that have to do with education in the news on a daily basis. And this morning will not be different. We'll consider the headlines first before we go into the topic of the day, and then we will be meeting you more. We would like to know more about you and what you do. So, going right up into the headlines this morning. The first headline, the first headline says Buhari appoints Ibrahim Wushishi as new NECO registrar. Any Omota, do you have something to say about that before we go on to Adama?
Not yet. Let me read a little bit about it, then I'll come back. You can come back to me. So I'm wondering why, but my question is, what was the reason? Was there a need for the position before? What was the criteria to appoint the person, and what difference are they going to make in changing the system for good or improving the
Okay,
current
so
system in
like we have
place?
said a number of times, sometimes the headlines are misleading. Sometimes you just wonder what the news is there. But before we go on before we skip or we move on from this headline, I'd like to hear if Adama has any thoughts on this.
Okay. Personally, I just feel like she mentioned, what's
Okay,
the essence
I
of
can't
the
hear you.
change? Can you hear me now? Can you
Yes,
hear
I
me?
can hear. I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear
Oh,
you.
okay.
Finn, can you hear us?
I'm not sure if it's me or if it's
Yeah.
general. I can't hear you.
Finn, let me put it in the chat. I can hear us.
Okay, I can hear Dr. Matt Omotala. I can hear you, Fiyin, as well. I'm thinking, should I
Yeah.
go
Oh,
ahead?
okay, okay.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead,
Yes,
Adama.
please go ahead.
Okay, so I was saying, like she mentioned, what's the essence for the change? My only challenge most of the times with the president's appointees and all of that would be the category of people the age category of people he chooses to appoint most of the time for some duties. But of course, I do know that the person who must have appointed must have had as much. I don't know him, but I do know that he must have had some experience in the field. And then another good thing is what is he coming with? What is going to be different about Nico when he joins us? I'm just saying now that he's a professor from Niger State, a lecturer in the Faculty of Education as well. Osman Danfodiyo University Sokoto. So what is he bringing differently into Nico? What's the standard of examination? What standard of examination that the children are going to be taking going forward? Is it going to be something that would inform better teaching, better education from teachers? That's basically it from me. I always like it that when people should always have a plan, discuss their plan with key stakeholders, and of course make adjustments here and there. At the end of the day, I hope it's for something good.
All right. At the end of the day, we're hoping it really is for something good. Okay, so we're going on to the next headline. COVID-19 third wave. Uniport directs compulsory use of face masks. Let's start with Adama this time, and then we go on to Omotola.
Wow. The thing here with when it comes to issues like COVID-19, I personally feel like people should get used to the instructions that have been given, the directives that have been given out. I recently realized that most of the most of the lockdown rules that we all abided to, most people are beginning to let it go, including organizations, including banks, including hospitals. So I mean, I feel like it's not yet time to let down our guards, because we do not want what happened last year to repeat itself. So yes, compulsory use of face masks is a yes from me.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, for me, can you hear me? I'll say that.
Yes, I can.
I think it's so important, and that's something I'm not seeing in the news. What's the percentage of Nigerians that have gotten the vaccine, the first wave or the second one? Like, I've not seen that in the news. What's the percentage that are yet to get it? What is the plan? What is the goal or the protocol in place to ensure that as many people as have access to the vaccine as possible and it's easier for them to get it? Are they going to create, like, the way when there was malaria was a big issue, they made it like a priority to hire people to go into the different places like villages, town areas, location, and really go meet the people where they are? Is there anything of such for COVID? So it's not enough to say that, oh, everybody must wear masks, because masks is not a long-term strategy. That is just the truth of it. We cannot wear masks forever. So yes, it's okay that it's good that they are really trying to enforce the protocol, but at the end of the day, it's already over a year. Where are we at in terms of the distribution of the vaccine, and what is the plan to ensure that as many people have access to it as possible? So that's something that I see that is missing in all of these news, and I hope that they can put attention on that.
Okay, thank you. When it comes to COVID and with us in Nigeria, we have a very funny reaction to it, from doubts, from all of the falsehood and I won't say falsehood, but from all of the opinion that had been shared before now when the virus first started. I think it did more harm than good. So many people were doubting that there is really anything like COVID. And, we depend a lot on, if this happens, then we have this natural remedy and all of that. So people are not really taking it serious. And like I heard someone say someday that if really COVID is real, that there would have been so many dead people on the streets. So his measurement of whether the virus exists or not is by the number of dead people that he heard on his streets. So that also informs the reaction that people have to the vaccine. It doesn't help also that the vaccine has been touted a lot of names. People have said, oh, they took the vaccine and they suddenly started floating, or they took the vaccine and, all sorts of funny things have been going around. But the truth of the matter is the virus is out there. It's killing people. People are getting it every day. And if you have access to the vaccine, please take it. And if you feel like, oh, the vaccine is not the way to go, please take precautions. Wash your hands, have a sanitizer with you always. Have an alcohol sanitizer with you always. If you don't have a sanitizer, methylated spirits will do just fine. Have your mask and just protect yourself. And I believe we'll be fine. Schools are just trying to reopen. Unfortunately, reopening now doesn't seem to be a very wise or strategic move. They probably have to close again, like we've seen with Unilag. And really, I'm just hoping that this wave doesn't meet us unawares or catch us unawares or catch us sleeping.
Yeah, I agree.
That's on COVID. CSO advocates varsity status for Yaba College of Tech, begs Buhari. Omotola, what's your thought?
Yeah, for this one, I'm like a bit skeptical. I don't think just advocating for for them to turn it into a university is the solution. I understand where they are coming from in terms of saying that it will have an impact in making an impact in the education sector. But the question is why? Like, what are the criteria beyond just saying that they need funding, and they want to use it to boost scientific and technological knowledge acquisition in the country? Because a technical college basically can do that without having to have the status of university, right? So for me, I still don't see the argument for why it's so important. But one of the things that at least I will applaud the person for is like they're appealing to private and other international donors to come and support the school through partnership. But my question is, we've talked about this before, that universities don't leverage what they already have within the country. Think about it. They have many alums that have graduated. If they can get maybe 10% of those that have graduated to give and donate regularly to the school, that can make a lot of difference. If they will apply for grant opportunities for research, for student development, for building, for academic progress, they will get that. But are they doing any of those things? They can't just rely on the government to give them money, because the fact of the matter is, if you look at our history in education, the biggest issue that lecturers and university face, even secondary school, public schools face, is this issue of like teachers going on strike, lecturers going on strike because of lack of payment of salary or those kind of things. So I'm not sure whether the budget already in place can be overextended to provide for this new initiative. So I think it's high time for whether it's a technical college or university to start thinking outside of the box and not just think that it's only the government that can provide the funding they need to be able to make the innovations they want to make happen.
All right, thank you, Omotola. Adama, any thoughts on this?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, okay. I want to agree with Dr. Motala 100 on this one. What was the vision of the Yaba Tech College initially, College of Technology initially? Was he able to achieve, or were they able to achieve that vision? What is the reason behind changing? What do they want to achieve for technology schools and schools that are more industry based? So let me use that word. I would always want to go to the drawing board. What were we trying to achieve initially? What are we trying to different to achieve what you set out to achieve initially? What's the guarantee that we'll be able to achieve that with university? Apart from that, one of the major problem in education for me that I always stress is the need to equip graduates to be able to do that which they are studying. Okay, and I always feel like a college of education is in a better field to do that. Sorry, a college of technology, a specific college is in a better field to do that. So I I would just advise that they go back to the drawing board and then try to understand what they were trying to achieve initially and why it's necessary to for the change to happen.
All right, thank you, Adama. I, for one, had always taken the position that um, these institutions need no upgrade when it comes to designation. And the part of it that got me, that was a little funny to me is that this CSO, the head of the CSO is actually begging, appealing to the government, to the president, and I think he owes the alumni of Yabatech an apology for saying that the president's assent would give the institution the needed backdrop to make an impact in the education sector. So what have they been doing all the while? What have they been doing before now? They haven't been making an impact. That is taking it a little too far, and really, that for me is just really, really taking it a little too far. It's just leave it at we would like to have the institution upgraded to a university and leave it at that. Let it just rest at that. Okay, I think we have another headline here. Pupils taking GCSEs, A levels, and vocational exams in England next year are likely to get advance notice of topics to ensure they are not disadvantaged by COVID disruption. This is very interesting considering that our own JAM is giving COVID as a reason for mass failure.
Yes, I was really waiting for this one. I'm like, this is people that have sense. Excuse my language, because I'm like, I really wanted to believe that it was our own when I first saw the topic. When I saw the other, I'm like, please let this be Nigeria. But I knew in my heart that this is not Nigeria. I'm like, oh goodness, I hope that they will learn from this. Like, that is a system that makes sense and is working. Like, they're looking at what happened, what did they not cover, to use that to be able to help students succeed, so that there will not be lamentation like we've had from our officials that, oh, it is COVID, it is the student, it is this, and they are not taking responsibility. But I like that they are taking responsibility for this and they are doing that. So I hope our people, they will take, because I even thought that maybe they listened to our show some weeks ago and they made changes. So I was so excited, but I was like, in my heart of my thought, like, you're going to be disappointed. So yeah, but I'm really thankful that at least they're leading the way in leading by example. So hopefully Nigeria will follow suit someday, but I hope that they will really follow suit.
All right, Adama, do you have any further thoughts on this?
This is a yes from me. It's exciting to see COVID disruption or no COVID disruption. This is a total yes for me. It's about children being able to prefer solutions to real problems and not being able to memorize facts and pour them out in an exam situation. So for me, it's about problem solving. It's about critical thinking. So this is a yes. It's a total yes for me.
Thank you. Exams 2022. Students to get advance notice of topics. Why do I feel like the Nigerian education system is being openly mocked?
But I'm glad that you're bringing in like international perspective and news, so that hopefully this will be a way for them to say, you people, please, in the name of God, do your job, like earn your salary.
It just feels like we're being sobbed. Okay, we are joined by the chief host of the Good Morning Education Show, Mr. Rotimi Etaya. Good morning.
Morning. Why are you asking, or why are you calling me chief host like it's one Cubana or something? I'm not a chief priest.
Let's not even
Chief
go there.
President, the president, the chief commander of education. How about that?
Omotola, you know you are 12 hours away. That's why you are saying all those things before we reach US. You know it will take a while.
Oh,
I mean,
goodness.
so, but then of course, thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. We are streaming from Lagos, Nigeria to West Africa to Africa and the entire world. This is the Good Morning Education Show. And we've not done something to our guest this morning. Adama requires and deserves a bell of blessing. So that's for coming on the show.
Thank you, Rotimi. I really appreciate
Fantastic.
it.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right.
Thank
Okay, so what do I want to say now? There's a news coming up from Ghana, though. A Deputy Minister of Education, Reverend John Intim Fudjo, whichever way it's pronounced, has underscored the need for the country to refocus its educational system in order to align it in the direction of the world, or in the direction the world is going in the next 20 to 30 years. And I'm sure this headline is putting a smile on Fi's face. Fi, I'm sure you want to say something about that.
Okay, so I feel like we're just being attacked this morning. Like what we are still battling with is what even Ghana, just Ghana, our next door neighbor Ghana is already putting in place, and they're already planning for the next 20, 30 years, while we are still scrambling and struggling with history, we're still struggling with the past, we're still trying to infuse and entrench the past into our current realities. And we really need to wake up and realize that, look, the world is moving, the world is evolving, it's going faster than we are thinking, and so there's a need for us to realign and ensure that exams are not a way of making students depressed or feel stupid in any way. Exams are just a measure of what they have learned, and for them to express what they have learned. It's just that simple. So yeah, well, I'm hoping we borrow a leaf from Ghana, even if we say UK is far away, or that, oh, they're Oyinbo and their system is different. At least Ghana, we are the same dark-skinned set of people. So we can borrow a leaf from them, hopefully.
Okay. Any other person trying to comment on that?
Yes, I was going to, because I even think that we are behind, because I'm like, already this one that they're saying that we should do it for 20 to 30 years from now. It is wonderful and great, but I'm like, we're playing catch up. We're seriously playing catch up, and yet Nigeria is not even there. At least Ghana is trying to. So I'm really hoping that our these leaders, because at this time I don't even think we should qualify them as leaders, because they are not, should do what is right by the generation, by the coming generation, and invest in not just the STEM, but also in TVET. And really, like I said, I always say an unexamined life is not worth living. So an unexamined education system is not worth having. You're basically like handicapping the future generation and making their, so I'm just hoping that things will get better.
All right. Ugochi, good morning. The safety chick joined us while we're speaking. How are you today?
Good morning, sir. I'm very well. Good morning, everyone.
All right. We have the National Director of the Girls Education Unit of the Ghana Education Service, Ms. Benedicta Seidu, has urged teenage mothers to return to school to further their education. I want to hear Adama's view on this.
Okay. Why do they need to go to school to further their education, teenage mothers? Personally, let them go, let them get a job, and let's talk about the future. Let's equip our girls. Let's talk about the future. Let the mothers get something doing. Let them be able to provide for the children, to ensure that they provide the best education for them. That's my thoughts. Going back to school, well, that should be that should be optional for the mothers. They are already mothers. They already have big responsibility, which is taking care of the teenage girls, the teenagers. The most important thing for me is the teenagers who they are taking care of. Do they have the best exposure, even with the least amount of money? come to think of it, education should be something that everyone should be able to afford, irrespective of your income level. So I'm not just talking about education, I'm talking about quality education. So yes, let's talk about the children, and maybe get a way to equip the parents, give them the skills they need for today's world.
All right. I think the stress on that headline is the teenage mothers themselves. So they are still within the school age. They are not talking about the mothers who have teenagers. So pretty much that's why
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Now I get it. Now I get it. Oh, okay. Yes. That would be a yes from me. That would be a total yes from me. If we have teenage mothers in a society, they should be learned. They should continue their studies. Motherhood shouldn't stop them from pursuing their dreams.
All right. Thank you very much. And I'm sure the next headline will interest Safety Chick. The head of the Office of Students, OFS, is concerned that more than half of UK university and college students feel their mental well-being has not been supported enough this year. So let's hear first from Safety Chick.
Okay, so I don't know why you always giving me all this kind of topic, but well, God day. Anyway, so even before this COVID, I know that when I speak to students who studied in the UK, they keep saying that that 1 year when they spent their time there, there were times when they almost went into depression. There were times when they felt alone. When you speak with many people that schooled in the UK, you get to hear that kind of a conversation. There's always a point in that 1 year where they almost stumbled into depression. Then imagine that we now had a COVID year, and so I can imagine what could have gone wrong in that sense. So I would just say that schools must integrate this mental health and psychosocial support in their activities. It is just so important. We don't have to wait for something bad to happen before we provide it. It should just be a part of what students get to benefit. And of course, they should also be informed that they have access to this, and they should provide information, training, so that they know that when you request for psychosocial support, it does not mean you have run mad. It doesn't mean there is something wrong with you, because I think we still have a lot of Africans stigmatizing it. And so because they stigmatize, even when they need help, they are afraid to go and ask for it because they think, oh, when they say no. That's why education and awareness is really critical, so that they know that this is just a support, so that things don't get bad. When things get bad, it's a bit difficult to take you back to how you were before, as opposed to when it's still at the beginning phases. So I don't want people to keep waiting for things to go beyond their control before they seek for help. So once you just feel out of sort, make use of this psychosocial support and services, so that you're able to get yourself. Our schools must integrate it into how they run their systems.
Thank you very much. Another headline says 1.5 million pupils out of school in England last week. And another headline speaking about England and says home education number rise by 75%. I'd like to hear Dr. Motola's view on this.
I think it's critical that parents also have a role in terms of what they like, how they feel about whether the children should go to school or not. So I'm glad that at least they are taking the data and they're collecting the data and they're using it to guide discussion and talking about it. I think it's, and then they also mentioned in the in the body of the subject that they are getting closer to the summer holiday. So sometimes that can also be a factor in the times that people are just tired. And then I know that with the UK, they're still under, what do you call it, they have restricted move because of COVID-19. So there's still a lot of things that still, they still have a high range of it. So things are still not free like it is here over here in the US. Things are opening up, but for them it's not there again. So and I'm glad that even parents and guidance are taking responsibility for their children's education, and they're willing to take over, like they said, the report said 75% are doing home education. I think that's wonderful. That's a system that works, that if they can get access to what they need online and still ensure that education is not really disrupted, even though they are not showing up physically in class, I don't take that as a loss. I take that as a win-win for the current circumstance in place.
Okay, thank you. I know this next one, this headline is actually like an amplifier effect on the first one, which is the number of children registering for home education in the UK rose by 75% in the first 8 months of the current school year. This is according to BBC research. Adama, you are someone that is a fan of homeschooling and home education, so I believe you have something to say about that.
Yes. I mean, for someone like me that we do the whole homeschooling thing, I did see the rise in the number of parents' interest in being homeschooled. And yes, mostly from the parents from the UK, they want to get homeschooled. Um, Now, this is, I don't know what it could have caused, but because COVID came with a problem, and then it's like we found an opportunity. And in that opportunity, it was, I mean, how do I put it? Was mind blowing that you could connect from your home and have access to learning from any part of the world. Just like she mentioned, it's a win-win situation. For example, we do ours as an after-school activity, and children get to connect after going to a normal school. They still come back home and they do it as extra learning. So it's a win-win situation. I love the idea of homeschooling. I do hope that more of Nigerian parents will come to accommodate homeschooling, because we still have a lot of Nigerian parents that come and say, oh, this online thing doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for my children. But then why doesn't it work for you? Because we have this mindset that we do not want to try anything that we are not used to. So yes, COVID brought in this opportunity, and I love that parents are embracing it.
Thank you very much. And on that note, we head over to the conversation of the day, and I would bring Fini back up to take charge of that. Thank you.
Okay. So, on to the topic of today. We're standing up for teachers, and I feel at this point that we just have that music, like the interlude, the song "Stand Up, Stand Up, Stand Up, Stand Up" for the champions.
Let's sing it now.
I'm not allowed. Beware.
As one that will sing this one.
Present.
Beware.
Okay, let's do it. Stand.
Beware.
Stand.
You can catch COVID through songs.
Abba. Our research is a serious one. But why are we afraid to sing? We can sing. It just feels like we have been right. But then we'll go on to the conversation, since we don't want to make it musical. But really, as the term is coming to a close in some places, or has already closed in some places, as the session winds down, I feel we should be standing up for the champions of the session, who are really the teachers. They have this year, and this school year has probably been the most trying for many teachers, having to adapt, having to adjust, having to develop content to take care of the realities that they have had to face this year. And so we'll be going into that and talking about that. What should be a proper reward for teachers at this time? And who do I start with? I think I'll start with Ugochi. What should be the proper reward for teachers? Not just the reward system. What should it be, from themselves to themselves, from parents to teachers, from the school to teachers, from the society to teachers at this time?
Okay, so it's going to be a mix of stuff, right? It's going to be a mix of stuff, and I will just classify them as financial and non-financial reward. financial, because I mean, the money is necessary to do the things that they would need to do, right? And then non-financial, because the non-financial helps to oil the other things. So non-financial could be like recognition for the amazing work that they're doing. It could be like training along their own career path and trajectory, to move them to the next level. It could be giving them positions, promotions into positions of authority that can, give them that self, how do I put that now, that basically makes them feel like, okay, the work they do is amazing, is recognized, and they give them more opportunities to do more. It could be from the parents, even just recognizing that, oh, thank you for being an amazing teacher, and maybe giving them gifts and all those kind of stuff. So it's a combination of a lot of things, so that the teacher feels like, yes, this work that we do, this amazing work we're doing to raise the future generation, it is seen, it is recognized, it is appreciated. You see, many times, when we think of reward, people think money. But you see, money is at the lowest level of it. Money is at the lowest level of it. It should be a teacher. The wealth is in different forms, and there's a wealth that comes in the fact that when you need people to do something, you can look through your network and you know that, yes, your network is going to shop for you, or they'll mention you in the right quarters. That is wealth. It's not money, but it can lead to money. So I would say that it's a combination of stuff, financial and non-financial, so that the teacher feels appreciated and recognized for the amazing work they're doing.
All right, thank you. So someone mentions your name somewhere, it can actually open you up to tons and tons and tons of money, very much more than what anybody can give to you. And while part of the reward is part of the ways that we can stand up for teachers. But Adama, I'd like to ask you this. What is your interpretation of standing up for teachers?
Okay. I mean, we've come to this topic that is very, very passionate. I'm very, very passionate about. Maybe because I'm a teacher. I grew up in a family of teachers. I've just always been around teachers somehow. And okay, I'll talk about one challenge that I feel like teachers are having in today's world. Talking about Nigerian teachers, basically. One, a lot of teachers that I've come to meet in the course of working with them lately are very passionate about the job. But then passion is not all the job needs. The job requires people who are passionate, people who understand the job of a teacher. And the role and the job of a teacher has gone really, really beyond just coming to a class and teaching. It has gone beyond that. And so, but they need to understand their jobs and they need to understand their role. They need to get paid and for the job that they do. And when I say get paid, I mean get befitting payment for the jobs that we do in the country. So when you ask me, what does it mean to stand up for a teacher? It means to provide these opportunities for teachers, provide opportunities for them to get trained, provide opportunities for them to grow, provide opportunities for them to even work, see what people are, to get to the global fair of in the global environment and be able to work beyond their current environment. It would be to reward teachers, like I said, financially for one, because that's one conversation that I feel like a lot of teachers want to run away from. Teachers should be rewarded financially. You see the way doctors are being paid. That's the way Nigerian teachers should be paid. But first of all, teachers should first of all be able to understand what their roles are. So I feel like we need more trainings for teachers. We need more media presence for teachers, more teachers equipped to be able to talk about themselves, to be able to talk about what they do and make the whole world know and appreciate what they do. So for me, it's about the training, it's about the growth, it's about the development, it's about rewards, financial rewards. That's what it is for me.
All right, thank you for that, Adama.
Sorry, can anyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes.
So that takes us to the next question, which is for Omotola. Um, how can we stand up for teachers? We have heard what it means to Adama to stand up for teachers, but how can we, in your opinion, stand up for teachers?
So for me, I think it's at least starting with two things. One of my favorite quotes, I have a lot of favorite quotes, so bear with me, is you cannot you
It's a
cannot pour from
Motola's
an
toolkit.
you cannot pour from an empty cup, right? And you need to fill yourself up first before you can fill in others. Because one of the things I really noticed was that in growing up, because I had my my secondary school education, at least the first 3 years in the public school system, and the other three in like semi-public, semi-private. And it was the same thing I noticed because of the payment issue, like Adama and even Ogochi have said in terms of the um money payment and non-money payment, teachers are not respected. Teachers are not given priority. And as a result of that, they get so easily burn out. They get so demotivated. They get even, I won't call it depression, but like they get so like stagnant that they do harm than good sometimes to the people they're supposed to teach because of their own frustration or the frustration with the system. So going back to the quote that you cannot pour from an empty cup, I think a lot of our teachers have been so emptied and used over and over again without replenishment that at this point they are just like they're just shooting without any direction or any purpose for some of them. Some are still very motivated and they're trying. So how do we stand up for them? So two things. One, we need better leaders in terms of the school administrations, the principals. They need to fight for their teachers. They need to create opportunity, create environment to invest in their teacher, in their self-care, like in their, not like you do once a year or once a time appreciation for teachers. I'm not even sure we do it in Nigeria. I remember when I was in college, every semester we have a whole day dedicated to our teachers or our professors, where people will write them letters, will serve lunch to them, when they come to the cafeteria, we'll clap for them. There'll be a line, like I think of like being on like the, what do you call it, the red carpet, something like that, and put that out for them every semester. And people will write notes and then they'll share that and celebrate that and do shout outs to the teachers and people that have impacted their life either that semester or before and things like that. I want to see more of that. Then beyond it as well, making time for them to prioritize self-care. You know, I mentioned it earlier, um like some previous week ago, well, when I talked about the fact that it's not every teacher that needs to show up Monday to Friday. I still think that is a very behind kind of like perspective. I know here they have substitute teacher where a teacher can take a day off and somebody else will cover their class just for them to rest, for them to go for training. So that is also part of standing up for teachers, making it's more humanizing to say, you know what, it's a lot of stress. They are not just dealing with the academics, they deal with the behavioral issue. We don't have counselors, we don't have social workers, we don't have psychologists for the student. These teachers are doing 4-in-1 job, yet they are not being paid well. The environment is toxic sometimes. And so it's like reviewing what is going on and saying, you know what, how can we do this better? How can we support our teachers? How can we be for them, not against them? Because based on the current educational system that we have and the way things are going, we are not for our teachers. We are not standing up for them. We are beating them down consistently with lack of resources, overwhelming them with some, like you can have a school where there's 50 or 60 or 100 students to one. And that is not sustainable. That is not helpful. No matter how motivated that teacher is, they cannot thrive long term on that kind of thing. So making time for their rest, creating a schedule in which can give the teacher some breathing space, and then training them outside training, not just for their academic performance, but even their own mental health, even for like, because I don't think it's just students that are struggling with mental health. I think the teachers also are as well. And we are not talking about that. We overlook the teachers sometimes and we jump to the students. So part of that is also bringing that focus. And I know some weeks ago we talked about this issue of they're starting a teachers show. So I really hope that show is popular like BB Nigeria, and hopefully that can really enlighten the population about what teachers go through. And I hope that will get some people, some champions and ambassadors to really advocate for better things for teachers. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Omotola. And in underlying everything that you have said, I see something stand out. You know, when you talked about the Teacher Appreciation Day, October 5, that is even World Teachers Day. I'm not sure how many schools celebrate it, and those that even remember just do general posts, and really there's not much focus on the teacher. And I see that at the base of all that you have said is the way teachers are branded, the way we view them, the kind of persona that we have attributed to teachers. And so this question is going to Adama. How can teachers be positively branded? Is Adama there?
Her mic is muted. Please unmute yourself.
Oh,
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Okay, so the question, teachers need branding. How can this be achieved? Oh, yeah. Um, one of the things that I feel gives out the way a lot of teachers are being treated. It's often said that the way you treat yourself is the way you are addressed. Okay. A lot of times, teachers are overwhelmed with work. Like the last speaker said, it's like you come to school every day and you keep working until the day is over. There's absolutely no time to do other things. I recently was talking to someone in the UK. I think she's doing a cultural exchange program in the UK, and she was asking me, "Oh, in my school, did we used to have a time for actual planning of a lesson, like a time in school when you're supposed to plan a lesson?" And I told her we don't have. We never had such time. A lot of times when you come to school, you would walk from the from the morning till the evening, and then you get back home, you're so tired, you need to plan your next lessons for the rest of the week and everything. So it's kind of very difficult to even give a proper time for planning. And then she mentioned something about teachers over there in the US are giving close to 2 hours every day to plan their lessons with their supervisors, and that doesn't happen in Nigeria. Now, if you don't tell your own stories, nobody is going to help us tell our stories as teachers. And one of the best ways to build a brand for yourself is that you put out our stories out there. But a lot of times, teachers do not have the time to tell any story. They don't even have a presence, a social media presence. And so I do agree that teachers need branding, but how this can be achieved is that we need more time. Teachers need more time. Teachers, we need to have, someone mentioned teachers being working intermittent. You don't have to come to work every day of the week. Okay. Now, when you take those breaks, use those time to talk about yourself, talk about what you're doing, talk about what exactly you're achieving in your classrooms. Another very big problem we have as teachers is that a lot of times teachers are not properly paid, and what that results to is teachers jumping from one school to another, from one class to another, and you don't get to understand like your class, your year group that you have been assigned to. You don't understand it properly well enough before you move to the next class. You're probably teaching math and English in this class, and then the next class you're teaching science. It's like there's no full experience. You cannot call yourself an expert, a grade 4 expert, a grade 5 one expert, because you don't have that time your skill. What is happening is you're perhaps looking for the next that will pay you more. You do 2 years there, you move to the next school, and for every school there is a new responsibility for you. So one of the things that we can help school leaders, can help teachers to build a good brand, is to get them known in one aspect. So who are you? I am a fourth grade teacher. I am a fourth grade math teacher. I am a fourth grade English teacher. And build your skill, talk about the challenges, talk about what you're doing. Let people be able to see the problems you are solving as that. So personally, I feel time is the first thing we need. Secondly, we need to be able to tell our own stories. Thirdly, we need expertise. We need to be able to do a particular job over and over again until we understand the job in and out. I'm not saying we can get everything, but at least we understand it to a particular level. We can become an expert in that level. And then most importantly, teachers also need to beyond the classroom. It goes beyond just coming teach. A lot of teachers, especially Nigerian teachers, are hardly ever on social. How do you get to contribute to what's happening in the world, right? So I do believe that with all of this, teachers should tell their stories more. They'll be able to get people to believe in what they are doing, the problem they are solving, and for me, that's what a good brand is.
Are you there? You're quiet.
Yeah, I saw you speaking, but I couldn't hear you. Okay.
That's, you don't know whether I'm speaking to the Holy Spirit. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a different dimension this morning. Okay, thank you so much for that, Adanma. And before we go on to the last question of the last structured question we have this morning, I will be handing over to Omotola to take us through the grant for today.
All right. So the grant for today is from PPG Industry Foundation. The deadline is rolling, meaning that you can apply at any time throughout this year. But like I always said, the earlier the better. So get on it. The grant amount is you can get up to $80,000, and you can apply this in the field of work for community development and revitalization, STEM education. Like see, the Ghana minister is proposing for that. So now you have something they can use towards that. And also beautification, which I think is also cool. We need great environment to help enhance learning. And then the applicant type is nonprofit. But like I said, don't get stuck by nonprofit. There are so many opportunities that individuals can partner with nonprofits for. Teachers can partner with nonprofits and get the funding and use it together to do good for their schools or even other projects that you might have. You can use the funding for project, program, educational outreach. The location is anywhere in the world, so it's not just restricted to Nigeria, but other African countries and other continents across the world as well. And so please go check out the website, get your application. If you need help, you can reach out to us and we'll be able to help you. Thank you.
Right, thank you, Ugochi. Sorry, thank you, Omotola. I had Ugochi in mind. Sorry.
Sorry, I claim I claim it too. I claim Ogochi, the spirit of Ogochi.
You don't need to claim her; she's already yours. We are giving you Ugochi from the month of August. Take it, take it.
All right. So, thank you, Omotola. And Ugochi, this question comes to you. We've talked a lot about what other people can do to stand up for teachers. What can teachers themselves do to stand up for themselves in a competitive industry?
Okay, so they have to be deliberate about their own growth because I was passing through Facebook yesterday and I saw an educator complaining that she hasn't been on Facebook for a while, and then she's back to still see teachers complaining that their employers are not paying them well and blah blah blah. And she was saying, if you package yourself well, if you package yourself well, train yourself, do a good job by yourself, nobody will be pricing you like tomatoes. She didn't say tomatoes basically, but you get what I mean, like cheaply and all that. So I think that the teachers themselves need to stand up for themselves and go the extra mile for themselves. Don't just say, oh, you've gotten so and so degree, that is all. Considering that we are in a changing world, go the extra mile to boost yourself. And the reason you're boosting yourself is because it makes you more competitive in the marketplace. It makes it easy for you to get better opportunities. Because if really where you are is not good enough and you're complaining that it's not good enough, then you have the opportunity to look around. There are other options. Except if you do not feel you have what it takes to get into better environment. That's where you stay where you are and you keep complaining. So I would say don't complain. Instead, see how you can boost your own your credential, boost your profile, boost the quality of work that you do, and then go apply for better opportunities. And that is a way for you to stand up for yourself, because where you do good work, you stand out. people do not have a choice but to respect that about you. They might not like you, they might not like your guts, but they can't dislike the quality of work you have done. So regardless of how they feel, they will know that, okay, this person is still a force to be reckoned with, and you get what is due you. So I would say that's one of the principal ways to stand up for yourself. The second way I would say is you've got to take care of your health, because you cannot give what you do not have. If you are not strong, if you're not mentally fit, you're not physically fit, your health is not doing good, you won't be able to deliver, even though you have so much beautiful ideas in your head. And so when opportunities now come and you're not able to get it because your body is not responding, you would feel like, is it because, and then you now begin to say, I've been here all these years. It's not about you being here all these years. It's about what can you do now. So you've got to stand up for your own self and make sure that your health is good, you're mentally fit, everything about you basically is good, so that when the opportunities come, you can take it fully. Then yeah, I will just stop there.
All right, thank you, Ugochi. And okay, Mr. Itaya, are you saying something to us, or you're still communing with the
Yes,
other room?
I've gotten the message from the spiritual, the underground spiritual session. All right, but we need to know this, that when we talk about standing up for teachers, it is not just welfare centric in nature. To stand up for teachers is to raise the bar, is to ensure that we treat them in the eye of industry and not in the eye of philanthropy alone. We know that definitely teachers are professionals and they deliver service which is based on commerce principles. So we've talked about earnings, we've talked about value, we've talked about so many things. However, we need to treat teachers not as a sorry plight, not as a sorry case. We need to treat them as industry experts. And therefore, standing up for teachers will mean we need to raise the bar. We need to increase the demand at deliverables. We need to stop relegating them to red sediments or remnants, right? We must place demands on teachers. Think about it. As one of the headlines says, there was a research done by BBC and about education. And you know that BBC is a media organization. However, it's possible that that research was implemented by educators on behalf of BBC. So some of the headlines we've had troubles with this week, where sometimes the body of the message or the news is not really tallying up. It's because we don't have teachers who are taking up that avenue. So we need to raise the bar. Teachers are not restricted to a four-wall classroom. The classroom is actually any interface and interaction that they have. So that's what I believe, and that's what we need to be able to, drum in the minds and the ears in the ears of people out there. So thank you for that, and I believe that we can draw the curtains on the show on that note.
Okay, so before we draw the curtains, I think we need to hear a little bit from Adam Mash, our guest today. What do you do? What do you offer? And what do you have
any
in
plans
store?
coming up? Yeah.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you so much for the opportunity. So my name is Adama Ugu. I am a teacher. I run an online school. And what we do is we do this homeschool program for kids from anywhere in the world. Our classes are online. And basically, that's what we do. I also am a teacher recruiter. I recruit teachers for schools. I train teachers as well. Um, Basically, that's what I do. So I'm a math teacher, and I'm also a science teacher, basically.
Great, good to
Thank
have you
you.
on the show.
All right, thank you, Adama. And we usually end the show in a very grand way. We serve every of our tribe members some real piping hot cup of chocolate spiced with marshmallows, just for them to have a good day. And so we usually end the show with our payoff line. It's always a great morning on the Good Morning Education Show. We do that together, and would like for you to join us this morning as we sign out this morning, and wish our tribe members a great day ahead and happy holidays. Sir, other
You're a bad teacher. How do you know that she's gotten what you said? You have
she's
to
a
give her
sharp
that one.
she's a sharp learner. I'm
You're
sure
a
she
bad
gets it.
teacher. Teach her first. Show her the way.
Adama, you got what I said, right?
I'm trying to get it.
You see?
Okay, so that's not
Finally,
on
we see
par,
your
that's on the
face. Can you
network.
imagine? You've been hiding your face. Everybody, this is what she looks like. In case you see her on the road, grab her handbag. I authorize you.
Don't grab my hand.
Okay, so we usually end the show by saying it's always a great morning on the Good Morning Education Show. Did you get that now?
Oh, yes, I do.
So let's hear her say it first.
It's always a good morning on the Good Morning Education Show.
It's a great morning. It's a great morning. All right. So that's because that's Finn's favorite part. So she will not fight us out behind this camera. All right. So let's have it after the count of two. It's always a great morning on the Good Morning Education Show. 1, 2, go.
It's
always
always
a great morning
Morning.
a good
on
morning.
the Good Morning Education Show.
Show.
Have a nice holiday.
wonderful
Bye.
day. Bye, everyone.